Hello, friends. Welcome to the show HR by Nature, where we talk to people and take their opinion mostly on the HR angle. Today, our guest is Mr. Nirdosh Kapil, who's VIP Sales and VM. I'm sorry, VP Sales and VM at Blackberrys since March 2020. Mr. Kapil has a rich experience of 20 years in the organizations like Levi's, Samsung, and HCL. Hello, sir. Welcome to the show.
Hi, man. Thank you.
Most welcome on the show, sir. So, sir, let's start. Sir, when you joined Blackberries, a very strange thing has happened. Generally, this thing doesn't happen. You started on a note wherein the moment you joined, and just next few days, your onboarding was not even completed, and it went on the lockdown happened in March 2020. So, just tell us something about, and it continued for 2 months or so. So, tell us something about the emotions that you went through and you dealt with it, because at this level when you're joining some organization and then the organization is seeing a deep drop in the business, so what were your emotions, how did you deal with them?
So, Mayank, actually, this is not the first time that this kind of a thing has happened with me. If I look at getting inducted in a role and then starting off my job, uh, so my first job at HCL, if I remember, there was no induction. I was thrown to the market. I mean, I day one I started off from there, and it was like learning from the market itself. Nobody inducted me in the company. The same thing happened in Samsung. I mean, there was no induction. I day one was my I started my job. I thought when I'm changing the industry, at least people will induct me somewhere. So Levi's also the same thing happened somehow.
So I think
So
it is
thing it
classic.
is, yeah, and fortunately, I mean, as I thought, now that I will get a chance to get understand what induction is actually. So unfortunately, fortunately, whatever happened, I mean, the pandemic hit and I mean everything was topsy turvy. Uh, but on a serious note, yes, if you look at then, I also reacted like a normal human being. I mean, there was a lot of adrenaline flowing, and I
Hmm.
was, I and it posed a question mark whether I have taken the right step or not, whether it is the right time. Uh,
Uh,
when I have switched this job, or I mean, I've taken the right step. But I think sense also prevailed simultaneously because what I thought I have joined Blackberries for for my passion of taking bigger roles, bigger challenges, and I thought it was the right time, and I feel it is coming in the right time that this kind of a challenge will further challenge my internal uh, habits and qualities what I have. So the biggest thing that I love to work with teams here. And
right.
on an average, in my last 12 years, if I remember, in Levi's, every 2 years I've worked with new teams.
Oh,
So that was nothing strange for me, and I took it in my stride. And I said, I mean, I was happy that it is good that it is the right time I have changed. It's a new team, new organization, new culture, so well adopted.
right, that's really nice. So that means there was not much volatility in this thing when it happened, at least with you or your emotions. So it was already in the habit. And in any case, in the last 4 months, we have understood that you are generally pretty easy on others and tough on yourself. So that is how you maintain and building your thing over here. So that brings me to another question. As you talked about culture, so in these 4 months when you have joined, what are the cultural difference that you have seen in Blackberries, and how is it different from the organizations you have worked with earlier?
So, see, each organization has its own journey, and
Right.
that journey actually decides. I mean, that journey is divided into different phases.
Hmm.
So, if I look at the Blackberries compared to my previous organization, it is a younger organization. Whether you look at HCL or you look at Samsung or you look at Levi's, is 160-year-old company.
Of
So,
course.
I mean, that culture has evolved over a period of time, and I'm happy to see that Blackberries is also adopting innovation. It is. I mean, we have drafted a new charter, and we are on the path of drafting a new culture in the organization, and we are quite flexible and adaptable. So, I mean, everything is in favor of Blackberries. So, I
Mhm.
don't think culture does matter. It is the part and the phase, and it's a part of a journey, how you travel. So, the two things that are very important are about any organization is one, its people, and the flexibility it gives its people to adapt to the company's culture. So, I feel both
Right.
are in favor of Blackberries, and we have a great future.
Of course, the way you are saying that innovation, of course, innovation is one of our values also. And the way you are saying that you are in a process to rebuild the culture, so that gives really positive vibes. Of course, the culture is really good, and then of course you are trying to enhance it further. That's wonderful, sir. Like many industries, apparel industry has also taken a hit in terms of business numbers. Just tell us something about the journey you may have planned to bounce back in the market in terms of in this industry. Do you see any role of HR partnering you in this?
So I'll give. So I think this question has two parts.
Right,
So one is how do we bounce back, and the other one is what I can understand is how can HR partner.
right, right.
But there is only one answer. That is
Okay.
engagement.
Oh,
So I mean, I feel the good part about our organization was that we had actually started building this culture sometime a year back. What we were going to achieve in next 4 or 5 years was being already drafted and was always planned. So the good strategy that we adopted was that we utilized our time in keeping ourselves engaged with both our internal and external customers.
right,
So and we have been sensitive enough to our customer sentiments and have been in constant touch with them. So technology has been the driver, but definitely we understood new ways of working. So we spent time to put our house in order. I feel that was the bigger part. We did a lot of things which a lot of organizations are doing today to tackle that post-COVID recovery phase. We already planned it as soon as the shutdown lockdown happened. We spent a lot of time in redrafting, recrafting our journey, and today it is what we are just building on that plan again, revisiting. So it seems to be much easier. Teams seem to be more engaged and more aligned, and even our internal and external consumers also know what Blackberries is going to do and how are we going to support them in the journey to recovery. The other big thing that I feel HR can partner is about uh, how HR can engage the employees, because see, it takes a lot of toll and energy on the motivation of employees.
right.
So how can HR partner in keeping employees constantly engaged? And one good story I remember, if you have heard about a concept called 20-mile march. So
Right.
20-mile march was developed, a concept developed in a book, Great by Choice. And
Mm-hmm.
I would recommend if you go through that book, it's a beautiful book, a very small narrative on how two teams who wanted to reach Antarctica, and they said, I mean, in 80 days, or I mean 90 days, they set a period of time, and then the two teams how they approach that same goal. So I see this recovery as the same goal, where a lot of organizations, whether in apparel or in other industries, are trying to do that. But it is the 20-mile march that will prove. That means we have to put discipline in place.
Right.
So and it is a matter of choice, clear choice. And that 20-mile march that we have decided, we have to travel each day. Each day we have to travel those 20-mile march, come what may. I mean, it is not like a rabbit and a turtle story, where the rabbit used to run faster, have a sleep, and we found at the later end that the turtle has actually overtaken him and he has won the race. So the
Right.
20-mile march story is the same kind of a discipline that we have to maintain, and it is. I would expect HR to partner with business and other enabling functions and step up and get our employees engaged, because the benefit that we get out of it is, because today, financial markets are not in your control. Customers are not in our control. The
Right.
pandemic, it is not in our control. So when things, we have to clearly define what is in our control, what is not in our control. So,
Right.
and obviously competition is also not in our control. So because today we have to safeguard our house, and
Right. First of all.
so we have to look what urgency we have in our house, rather than looking outwards. We have to look more inwards. So, and when we have this 20-mile march, I mean, I feel we have tangible points of focus that keep us and our teams moving forward despite confusion, uncertainty, and chaos. So, I mean, that's how I look at this problem. This problem doesn't seem to be a problem once we have a focal point, and we all have the same kind of a rigor in reaching that. And that is what I call is a 20-mile march for me and my team.
That's fantastic. Of course, this is a problem which has arisen. So probably the we have looked at it at a different way, as a different way. But then, of course, once the time unfolds, we'll look at it as a just another problem, and we have to deal with it. So of course, I think that reminds me of a book, another book also. I think I don't remember the exact name, but that was some 1% improvement in each and everything that they do. So there was some cycling race in London. So I don't exactly remember that, but yes, that reminds me of that. So that brings me to the last question, sir. Any message that you may want to give to all the employees as of now, or any suggestion to the HR team which you may want to give?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, message is very clear. As I said, 20-mile march is something that I feel we all should adopt. But it leads to a larger connotation, and that is, I have, Mayank, in all my years, what I've learned in my life is why I have succeeded and where I have succeeded. I mean, why we as and what teamwork is all about. So, first thing and the foremost thing is that I believe in one team and one dream. I mean, one dream, is about, taking Blackberries to the next level, next pinnacle. And, what will actually make us go there will be the concept of one dream, one team. We all should think alike. We all should, make efforts in the same direction. Now that we have a new charter, we have a new
Right,
icon. And we have most of us are, now after, restructuring, I feel we are into most of us assigned to new roles with new energy. I think this self belief is something that we need to look. And I remember, if you remember, there's one movie also made on one poem, very short poem. I don't remember. Uh, yeah, it's William Ernest Henley. He was during British times in South Africa. He was actually, sent to Ireland as prison. जैसे इंडिया में काले पानी की सजा होती थी, ऐसे there was
uh-huh.
some. So that kind of a punishment he was given, and there he wrote a very small poem, maybe hardly one-page poem, but very impressive. The name of the poem is Invictus, and
Okay,
the message he gives clearly is, I am the master of my fate, I am the captain of my soul. And I feel these two lines inspire me, and I want every employee to be inspired, that because you are master of your fate and you are master of your soul, so your choice matters. I mean,
uh,
yeah,
that's a strong message. I'm sure that this is going to motivate many of the employees, our team members, and of course people outside Blackberries as well who are going to see this.
sure.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir, for coming on the show. That was so nice having you.
Thank you, man, for giving me this opportunity. Really grateful. Thank you to
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, friends, for watching us. I'll be back soon with some other great personality. Till then, thank you. Bye.